All right, here we are with Lauren Johnson, and he attended yesterday Mental Mastery Level 1. So I want to hear what he liked and what he can use that he thinks.
I think the biggest thing that I got out of yesterday's class was the fact that I don't want to focus or put any energy into the runs that I don't do well on. And I need to focus on the energy, put the energy into the ones that I do well on, and try to master that rather than trying to understand what I do wrong. I think that was the biggest thing that I came away with yesterday.
Awesome. All right, here we are with Scott Schilling. He was at Mental Mastery Clinic Level 1, and that was about 3 weeks ago. We're at Level 2. And
what I've been using is a lot is the 4 R's, because I would if I would have a bad run before, I would just dwell on that for like 20 minutes, right? And now I just like blow that thing off, remember my good runs and how clean they were, and I just been using that a lot, and that's really been helping. I've jackpotted about 5 times, and I'm climbing the ladder. I'm getting there, because like I say, this is my 2nd year of actually team roping again and all.
how many short rounds have you made?
I've made probably about 5 in about 3 or 4 months, about 5 short rounds. And now I'm climbing that ladder. The stress went from here down to here now, and I can really concentrate on my focus points now. So, and just release that bad thought and replace it with a good one. So that's really helped.
We're with Regina Sells here at Tenny Training Mental Mastery Clinic Level 2, and we're going to ask her what she's learned from the Mental Mastery Clinic Level 1 and how she's applied it in her life. And she hasn't been roping, so we'll be interested to see how she's been using it.
Well, I guess it's just overall, just, general in life, and then just like what I'm saying to what I was with my son, just, referring back to a lot of the things we learned. Just that, keeping that positive mind for picturing the perfect, scenario, whether it's not just a run or anything, but just visualizing or making sure that whatever's going to happen is going to be positive and the way you want it to go, and just having that sense.
Yeah, the what you want. I love that. Perfect. Thank you, Regina. All right, here we are with Perry Vanneukirk. What did you learn or use and make your life easier or worse?
What I can tell you is I've not jackpotted since that date, but I do rope quite a bit. We practice several times a week. And the things that I used, a couple things, a visual mastery of the perfect run. I don't spend my time on those healing runs where you miss, because with a healer as I am, you would spend a lot of time being negative. So I concentrate on the perfect runs, on the double hawkers, on the good runs. That seems to help my confidence. And then the affirmations, before I go to bed at night or when I wake up in the morning, that's what I do. And those positive reinforcements with affirmations, I just seem to be a lot more confident when I rope now. If I miss, I miss. I'll go on and maybe rope the next one. Another side story to this, I also golf. When I'm not team roping, I golf, and I visualized having a round like 5 strokes better than I've golfed at all. And I'll be darned if I didn't golf that exact score
Cool.
that day. So I'm saying, yeah, it works.
It works.
That's my story.
Love it. Thank you so much. All right, here we are with Pete Fates.
The positive reinforcement is one thing, about getting up in the morning and having your positive reinforcement, and before you fall asleep at night, having your positive reinforcement. And I try to use it during the day as well. If something's kind of bothering me or whatever, or I'm facing some sort of a temptation, I use that reinforcement. I like that. But I think the other thing, you and I had a conversation when it was all over, and I discussed it. Actually, I had won a lot in the past and was kind of in a flat spot. And you said, well, the one thing you have going for you is you know what it's like to win. And so I went home and I thought, well, what did I really do? What was my mindset when I was really, on top of my game for 8 or 10 years? And I had me a little deal that I always focused on, like before I roped. In my case, is a little saying, and I'll tell you what it was. It was 2 o'clock, point it at them and stick it on them. Well, 2 o'clock meant that I wanted to break my rope over at 2 because I have a bad habit of getting my arm behind me. 2 o'clock, point it at them, get your tip down, stick it on it means stay with your loop. And I thought, wow. And I haven't thought of that for years. I thought, wow. You know, and I have struggled with my tip getting up too high. So I went back to thinking about that. Bang, all of a sudden I'm able to really get control of my tip again. And you know, steering the chute's the most important one. Well, you know, because you can't go back and rehash the one you just missed or the one you were just 7 on or whatever, because that's behind you. I mean, this is not, to me, this is more about, isn't just about roping, this is about life as well, because I had a guy that I was working with one time doing a project for him, and I was having a hard time communicating with him, and I'm kind of from the old school, and I will voice my opinion how it just how it's said. So this guy tells me, he goes, you know, you're the most negative person I've ever been around. Well, instead of using that to make me mad, I mean, I was mad for about 30 minutes, but I thought about that. I thought, you know, that guy's kind of right, and it's not really my nature, so to speak, but I worked in this situation where you've got to be intense all the time, and my intensity was actually turning negative. And so when this really brought all that to light, I thought of that, you know, and I do my best just to not let critical thoughts of anyone or anything or whatever enter my mind.
Perfect. Thank you, Pete. Hello, we're here with Flynn Cells, and we're at Mental Mastery Clinic Level 2, and we're going to ask him what he learned from Mental Mastery Clinic Level 1, what he's used, and if it's helped at all.
Well, I think the number one thing that helped me was knowing that I'm perfect. Like, everything that I do, like, is perfect for me and how I use my skill. I always had trouble with the short round, but with it just being another steer and changing my mental game to where it's not a short round steer, it's just another practice run, that's helped me a lot to finish out the roping and win that way.
Have you had any successful wins since we were here?
Yesterday I won a saddle roping at Welcome Home Ranch. Yeah, it was a 10 or a 10.5, but I picked up a saddle yesterday.
Good.
And how much did you win?
That was like 400. It was a smaller roping, but the steers were fresh and everybody was on their game, so it was a good race.
Yeah.
And
good.
Then the day before that, I picked up a buckle at buckle roping at the same place, Welcome Home Ranch. But yeah, that's the technique I've been using. It's just the same steer.
And so, are you more confident?
Yeah, I'm more confident now. Maybe not more confident, but like more relaxed.
More relaxed.
Less tensed. That short round steer don't really bother me no more.
So roping is just the same, no matter first steer to the last steer, and you just go do your job.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you, Flynn.
Yes, sir.
Stop that.